everyone, and welcome back to Health Talks. I'm your host, Ira Jeannie Trotto, and I am here to meet you where you are in your healthcare journey. This month is August, and it is National Wellness Month, where we include self care, physical activity, and stress reduction. Now, for me, I can do one thing that solves all three, and that is exercise. Find out what you like to do. Try some new things. We still have, today is the 8th, August 8th, so you still have a couple of weeks in this month to implement some new things to make your health journey better for you. Today, I do have a special guest with me. Her name is Monique Griffin. I've actually known Monique for maybe 7 years now.
I think so.
Because my granddaughter is 10. So I think it's been 7 years. She's a good friend of my daughter. So they used to work together. So I've known her for a while. How old is your daughter now?
My daughter now is 19.
19. Was
oh
she?
my goodness.
How old was she when we met?
Probably 10.
10? Oh wow.
So
yeah.
I think it's been a while.
It's been a while. It's been a while. So Monique is on here today. She's going to share her health journey with us, and so I'm going to start by asking her, what was your meal plan like growing up?
Oh wow. So I grew up in the South most of my life. So the meal plan was whatever your mama cooked is what you ate.
Yes, it was.
And if you didn't like it, then you didn't eat.
Mm-hmm.
So, so you know what I meant by like Southern meals was, you know, mostly anything like, you know, cooked in grease. Probably wasn't healthy, and you know, our grandparents or great grandparents passed that down, not knowing that it wasn't healthy for us, I guess you could say. Like you had vegetables, but the vegetables, it wasn't it was cooked down so much that the nutrients is then cooked out of it.
Yeah.
At that point.
But you know what, too? I think that they may have cooked it more, but they knew we knew what we were getting. Versus if they had the lard and all that, it was homemade lard. It wasn't what this synthetic stuff that's being made now, you know, for us to cook our foods and stuff in. So I think even though they cooked it more, it was still better for us because the vegetables came out of the garden instead of out of the freezer at Walmart. You think the same?
I do in some cases, because now, like you said, we don't know what we're getting for the most part. Like when you go to the grocery store, and in some locations now, it's harder to find your local farmer. So where I'm at now, I don't know where the farmer's market is. I've been trying to find one, but it's harder for me to find one now versus I do remember growing up and we did go to the farmer's market, even if it was just for fruit. So yeah, you bring up a good point with that.
Now on the way, I don't know if you might need to check the outskirts. I did see a couple of, now I'm not sure how often they're there, but I did see a couple of stands set up where they have people out selling fresh fruit and vegetables that I did see here recently. So you might have to just maybe do some research and find out where you might be able to find those things outside of where you live at now, outside of your area. Okay, so growing up and eating the way you did you start to feed your daughter the same way, or did you want to make the change and say, well, I want her to eat things a little bit, you know, have a healthier diet than I did, so let me kind of switch it up and see what happens?
It took a while, I would say. So I would say at first I did, but then, you know, kids do kind of shift to, she might not like the same things that I did growing up, so that kind of started the change. And then I don't know, it kind of clicked in me, but then I realized, like, you know, I don't want to drink this kind of water or buy this kind out the store, and well, I need to cook a little differently because I work all the time, and what can I do to make things healthier in my life? And then I was like, I needed to make sure that she was healthy, so when she grew up, it wouldn't be as hard on her to make these good decisions. You know, and sometimes the kids will end up telling you, like, you know, I don't even, this not healthy.
Yeah.
So I've had some times where she did that, and I'm like, well, why isn't it healthy? And you know, she could have learned something at school or from a friend and brought that information to me. And then I would look it up, and I'm like, you know what, you're right.
So, what would be a couple of things that you decided to remove from her diet that you had growing up?
I did want to do like more fresh vegetables and more fruit. And the fruit aspect was that she loved fruit. So that was like, it just kind of happened on its own. And then she ended up being the type of kid who didn't like candy.
Oh, that's a blessing.
So so that was easy. So now she don't like it. So guess what? I'm not gonna eat it. So I stopped having to buy those things, and so that meant less sugar. So a less sugar intake in the house.
Yeah.
So with that, like, you know, we grew up with like Kool-Aid and Tang, I think it was called, and that's
the orange Tang.
Yeah, you know. So when you really go back and you like, man, it got this much sugar in one glass. You know,
you would be surprised if you just took the time to read your labels, and then you see where it has 10 grams of sugar, then you look at the line right up under, it has 27 grams of added sugar. I'm like, oh my God, it is just amazing. All the information you can get on what's in your foods if you just take the time to flip it over and read it. So if you read a couple of items as you go through the store, when you go back to the store, you know what not to get. So, well, I already read up on this item, I'm not gonna get it. I'm gonna try something different. So it makes a big difference. But my favorite Kool-Aid was Tropical Punch.
I don't know what mine was now.
I can
so long
remember
ago.
Tropical Punch was my favorite Kool-Aid. So yeah.
Yes, and then growing up, you didn't like look at the ingredients and say I need, or the instructions and say it just needs this much sugar. You just
you just poured it
into your desired taste, and as kids, it's just like more. I want more sugar.
Yeah.
So when she was like not liking candy, and then you know you pull away from that and you pull away from these other sugars, then once you start tasting things that have a lot of sugar in it, it's like your palate is not the same. So it's like I don't want. Ooh, this is too sweet.
Yeah,
you kind of get used to the more healthier options.
Now, for me, I saw a big change when I stopped eating the regular applesauce, and then I started eating the unsweetened applesauce. And when I tried to go back to the regular applesauce, I could not do it. I still can't do it to this day. Have regular applesauce. I have to get the unsweetened applesauce when I have it, because the regular is like, oh my God, this is way too sweet. Now, my kids now call me. They don't let me taste test anything for flavor. They call me dyed mouth. Okay, it's like, no, don't let her taste anything. She's dyed mouth. It's gonna be bland. But I just prefer my food without a lot of extra additives. Now I will say on the holidays when my mom cooks different things, of course I'm gonna have some of it. But I cook for myself. I just prefer not to have all of that extra stuff in my food, and it tastes good to me. It tastes good to me. So I know another thing I used to do with my kids growing up, when I wanted to switch them from something that was to something healthier, I would still put it in the same container, like with the milk. I would put it in a different container. I would put it in the same container, so they thought they were getting the same product. But then after as time moved on, I would just leave it in that container, and I was like, oh no, this is not what we drink. I said, yes it is. You've been drinking it for weeks now with no problem. They're like, okay. So in
Got 'em.
Yeah, so that's how I got them. Yeah, so I would
Yeah.
just switch it over and leave it in that container and it worked well.
That's good
Yeah.
idea. Good idea, you guys.
So, okay, moving on. So once you had your daughter and you guys now going through your different meals and everything, what do you think was the best outcome? What did you see any changes? Did you feel better because you were eating differently? Did you notice any changes in the way you felt or noticing her in the way that she felt after having a better meal?
That's a good question. For her, I don't think I saw changes, like, I guess with anything, not quite right away. But because I just, as she grew up, she had more stamina. She was very athletic, and I'm not sure if all kids are just that way or not. But I tell you, I did not have to take a lot of trips to the doctor.
Okay.
As kids get common colds, or adults all the time, I can't even think of a time my daughter had a cold until she was like older, and maybe like the flu was going around or something like that. And it was still very rare that she even got the flu. So growing up as a kid, she didn't get sick often.
That's good. Yeah,
So,
that was a blessing.
Yeah, maybe an ear infection, but usually I don't think an ear infection kind of coincides with what you eat. But even if it does, because I'm not a doctor, okay? So, if it does, I can still say I can count on one hand how many of those she even had in her life. So she was a very healthy child growing up.
Yeah, so you know what, that's good because, when they go to school, even when they're younger and you put them into daycare and, the kids love to share the love, it's easy to bring things home. They bring it to you and the whole house is sick. So for her to not be ill, that was great.
Yeah, so I can definitely say that has to go with her diet. 'Cause like you said, with the germs that you can get from other kids, it bothers me to know what that is.
Okay. So now you had her what age?
I was 25.
You were 25. Okay. So then now we're gonna jump forward after having her and changing up the meals and seeing that, okay, this is working best for us so that we can be healthier. What was your physical activity like?
For myself, being a single mom, I had to work so hard. I would probably say my physical activity was very slim because I just remember work, and then soccer mom, cheer mom, dance mom. So I don't think my physical activity was a lot, but I remember hers was because I just wanted to make sure that it was for her.
Yeah.
So hers was a lot, mine probably not so much.
Okay, so then let's move on to years down the line, maybe 10 years later, you had a major health change. You had a major health change. So can you tell us a little bit about that and what happened?
Yes, so at the age of 39, just out the blue, I was still working a lot, still being the dance mom, soccer mom, all those good things. But even by that time, I had learned more about being a little healthier. So I did adapt a little more into our diet, not much, but I was still aware. I was getting to learn more about reading labels and trying to do it a little more efficiently. But it was a day that I started feeling a tingling sensation in my leg. It was in my foot at first, and it started creeping up my leg, my right leg, and I just kind of brushed it off because, again, working, I was trying to buy a house, and I say trying, but I was in that journey, or very close to about to buy a house. So I was just focused on doing what I needed to do for that. And so I'm like, well, I'll go to the doctor later. And I just kept pushing it back. Like I felt a tingling on my back, and I was like, oh, well, it's probably nothing. It came and went. And then finally I did go to the doctor, and I was misdiagnosed. So that diagnosis was shingles. And
So did you have a rash or anything that showed the shingles on your skin?
Nothing.
Okay.
Nothing at all. But it was 2020, so the doctor's excuse was a lot of people my age were being stressed out more, having to work from home. So because they were stressed, shingles started just popping up in younger people.
Yeah.
I told the doctor right now, I was like, it's not shingles. I said, I'm not stressed. I'm happy. And I was very satisfied with my life at that point, my daughter's life. I did end up buying the house. So I was happy, but I still just did what the doctor told me. I took that medication, and it kind of subsided for a couple of days, and then my leg started bothering me again, and it was both legs. So from that point to maybe about a month in, things just got worse, and I passed out one day at home.
Were you alone?
My daughter was there, and I was about to take her to school, and I literally just passed out in her arms. That night I was feeling loopy throughout the night, and I called my job. I was like, hey, I'm gonna be a little late because I didn't want to drive to work just feeling disoriented. So when I felt a little better, I was like, okay, I could drive, take her to school, do my mom duties, right? And but I looked in the mirror, make sure my face wasn't drooping, make sure everything was okay. I was on the phone with my mother, because since we're talking about health, I always believe that when you're not feeling well, even if it's a little bit, you let somebody know. So that go-to person for me was my mom. If I had a severe headache, you might have one it could be anything, tension, sinus, but you feel like you gotta lay down and go to sleep, I always let somebody know first.
Yeah, that's right.
And so I had told my mom how I was feeling that night. And so she was, make sure you look in the mirror, your face not drooping, not having a stroke. I'm like, Mom, I'm not having a stroke. You just,
she want to make sure.
Yeah, she want to check on her baby.
That's right.
So I looked in the mirror, I was like, I'm not having a stroke. And I turned, took 2 steps, and that's when I passed out in my daughter's arms. So she dialed 911, and she tried to help me get off the floor, and that's when both of my legs were completely weak. By the time the paramedics came, I couldn't even walk down the stairs. They had to help me. So you guys, and from that point to like maybe 2-3 weeks later, I was completely paralyzed. So my diagnosis ended up being Neuromyelitis Optica Spectrum, which actually caused a spot of inflammation on my spine, and that caused me to end up paralyzed from the neck down. Left that part out. From the neck down, I was paralyzed. It can cause some people to go blind. It can, and both eyes or one, or it can do that and paralyze you just from the waist down. So it's a rare disorder, and in everybody, it can affect you in different ways. Okay.
When I was doing trying to do a little reading on what you were diagnosed with, it is a rare disorder. It says it's a rare autoimmune disease where the immune system attacks the central nervous system, specifically the optic nerves, eyes, and spinal cord. Okay,
Yes.
so that would be with you. You didn't have any eye issues, but it did affect your spinal cord, which caused you to be paralyzed from the neck down. It says that who it affects is 90% are women. Onset is usually around the age of 40. It's also sometimes misdiagnosed as muscular sclerosis. It said it affects predominantly black women, Asian women, and Hispanic women. A few men, but not many. It's more of the women. Let's see. It says some of the red flags could be vision loss or pain, rapid leg weakness or paralysis, and unexplained non-stop hiccups or nausea. Non-stop hiccups.
That you would never think. Yes.
Yeah, something you just drink you some water and keep going.
And I had the hiccups.
Why they won't leave?
Yeah, I had the hiccups, y'all, and I just thought it was hiccups. Yes.
Wow. That's wow.
Yes.
Wow. So once you were diagnosed and you came home, I know it changed your life because you were paralyzed from the neck down. How long did that last?
So I did have some really good doctors, so that's important in your healthcare journey, and to have doctors that you trust. So I was in the hospital for a couple months, and by the time I was released, I was able to move my right leg and my right arm.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I was in the hospital for like 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
So, but now y'all, it's something crazy. Before I went into the hospital, I don't even remember how long I was paralyzed when I was at home, because I wasn't really getting the help that I needed until my mom just got fed up and fussed at one of the previous doctors I had.
Yeah.
And I don't really remember because I was in so much pain, because it can cause, it's chronic pain. So when I was home, I don't remember how long that happened. But I know I was in the hospital for at least 2 months. And then, so I could move my right leg, my right arm, and then just being in physical therapy from then to now, I was just able to start moving my left leg a little more, and then they made sure I got up and tried to walk, even though, like, they put me in a machine that would help, and I had to even think about just moving my legs. So from then to now, so now it's been 5 years, so now I can walk with a walker.
Yes.
So, that's a blessing in itself.
Hey, you're doing better than walking with a walker. You're walking with a cane.
Yeah, so I'm practicing walking with a cane,
honey,
guys.
You are doing
yes.
Hold up. She moved a little fast right there.
Yeah, so my daughter's like, slow down.
I didn't notice
slow
that.
down.
Hold up.
Because I be trying.
With that cane, I know.
Yeah, and I do it safely.
Yeah.
That's another thing about your health. You gotta do it safely. So, yes, and my goal is to be walking with no devices.
That's right. And if you've come from being paralyzed to moving an arm and a leg to getting into your physical therapy to actually putting forth the effort. Now, see, that's another thing.
Yes.
When we have major life changes, we got to be willing to put forth the effort, to be ready to do what we have to do to get ourselves better again.
Yes.
I have this thing I say where you want to do the best you can to take care of yourself, because if your health ever decline and you got to crawl, it's going to take a minute for you to walk again. So if you can do anything you can do that's going to keep yourself well, that if for some reason you do fall and you have to, work yourself back up to walking and stuff again, you already got that discipline, you got some motivation, you've already been treating your body good, so hopefully your body's going to recover good. So I do stress that, try to do the best we can to take care of ourselves. So if we have any major health issues, we're hoping our body can rest and recover and get us back to our normal lives, which I see you're doing good, because if you're walking with a cane in the next year, I don't know, Monique, next year,
I'm
honey,
trying to run, you guys. And I never liked running.
Hey,
Before, I didn't like running. I didn't like walking. But when something so little or something you don't even think about is taken away from you,
That's right. That's right.
I like to walk now. I
Mhm.
couldn't do it a couple.
That's right. That's
It
right.
got, I feel like it got taken away from me, and now the fact that I can do it, like that's my favorite exercise. Actually, if I can go outside and walk around the block, I would prefer to do that.
Yeah. Well, hey, you are well on your way to doing so. So that's good. That's a blessing. So with that being said, how are you? Do you have a good support team now? Do you go out and speak to anyone about what happened to you? Now I heard you wrote a book.
Yes.
Now is this about your journey, or is it about something else totally different?
So it is about my journey with this disorder. It's called Walking by Faith, My Journey with Neuromyelitis Optica Spectrum. I decided to use the whole name.
Yes, yes, because you give us abbreviation like, okay, I don't know
what's that?
What is that?
Yeah,
But yes,
so
thank you.
if anybody cares to look it up, the abbreviation is NMO. It's not, I'm gonna be honest, it's not quite done yet because my journey isn't done yet.
That's right. You got a lot more to
So
do.
I
That's
probably
right.
so it's probably gonna be part 2, part 3. Never know. But I just wanted people to be aware. Because at first I ignored it. I ignored the signs, and a lot of us do that, especially when you live in a busy life. And a lot of men do it.
They do.
And I just, my example is that I do believe that if I would have went to the doctor sooner, even though I was misdiagnosed at first, but if I had went to the doctor sooner, I think things would have turned out a little differently.
I think so. Yeah, that's possible. I know it does say that at first it is misdiagnosed. And then they sometimes can give you the wrong medications to treat it, because of course they don't know if that's what it is at that time. But I believe they said there are some certain tests that you can get done that will show certain levels that will push them more to what you were diagnosed with. So yeah, it can be misdiagnosed, but at least you would have gone and did some blood work, and then you're right, they might have seen it right then and it not have been misdiagnosed. Yeah, so shingles, isn't that something?
Yeah,
and it also goes to
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. It
We
almost
might
goes
say
to show you
something.
that a lot of times, like you said, we ignore, I got a headache, and then all of a sudden you've had an aneurysm, but you've had that headache for 5-6 weeks now, and you're just too busy to stop and take care of yourself. So that is why I say, when your health talks, are you listening? Are you gonna go and take care of it? Not wait weeks and weeks because your foot hurt, your knee, whatever it is. If you're not feeling well and it continues, you need to go and get yourself checked out, because if they catch it early, there's a possibility that you can have a full recovery, other than what the alternative could be if you just had gone, and since you didn't go, it can turn out much worse. So,
Right.
So please listen to your body and get yourself checked out.
And a second opinion. If you don't agree with what the doctor is saying, get a second opinion and do it quick.
Yes.
So like you said, the time frame. Because even though I didn't think that's what it was, a second opinion probably would have been great as well, and I didn't do that. And I think I put things before my body, because I went to work, but
yeah, we all do.
Can't go to work dead.
Yeah,
That's not like my mama, but that's what she would say.
You are
So
exactly
like that.
right. You are
So
exactly
you gotta
right.
take care of you, like
That's
you
right.
said. Yeah.
Can't go to work dead. That's a good one. Won't be in today.
Right. So let me take care of myself.
That's right. That is right. So, all right. So, I just want to thank you for coming on to the Health Talks podcast and sharing your story. Now, you have some fun things that you do. Since you've had some downtime at home and you're, recovering and all that. She has a business called Momo's Things, okay? And this is one of the things she's made. I'll let her talk to you about it and show you one of her creations. It is so cute.
This is one of my creations. I make tumblers. I can do other crafts as well, but this is one of my joys. It's inspired me by Lisa Frank because I always loved her growing up. So,
cute.
And I like what you said earlier when you were talking about your health and not just physically but mentally. You made a statement, and so I did get to a place where my faith carried me through, you guys. 100%. And you talked about friends, and her daughter was one of them. I had really good friends that stuck by me, and family as well that stepped in and helped. So, but then there was a point to where my therapist, because I believe mentally you need that help too.
Yes, you do.
Said, you need to do something that you enjoy doing. That way I'm not just sitting at home.
That's right.
Sitting in the dark, going to the doctor's office and back, things like that. So she was like, what do you like to do? I said, well, I like to do crafts. And she was like, well, why don't you start crafting again? And I said, maybe that'd be a good idea, because at the time I still couldn't move my hands that well. But if I did crafts, that's still me moving my hands. So therefore, I'm doing something I enjoy. So that's mentally. But moving my hands, that's what? Physical therapy.
Yes, it is.
So I was doing two things at once.
Yeah.
Probably several things. Then I started a business. So then that's a third thing. It was just so many joys that came out of it. And I do believe that that's also what helped my hands, of course, because I was going to therapy. Now I'm doing therapy at home. So that's how this started. And when I did it from a tumbler standpoint, I was like, oh my God, I'm great at this.
Yes, honey, that is so cute. Let me hold it again. That is so cute.
So that was my personal cup.
Yeah, you did a great job.
I made that for somebody.
Nice. Can you guys see it?
And I was like, oh my God, I love it.
No, this is very nice.
And when I make it, depending on the person, I always do a little something extra in there. So I put something on the bottom. I actually have something in here, so I don't want to tilt it too much. But on the bottom of mine, it's a heart and it says faith.
Oh, let me see that. Let me see that.
Yeah.
Oh, it does.
So I always like to do a little something.
Tilt. You see that? That is nice. That is nice.
I like to do something of some type of encouragement for someone on there. I've done one where I put a picture of the young man and his daughter on the bottom of it, or someone I had a pastor and I put bless under there. Just some kind of encouragement, like a little hidden surprise, a little something on each creation for the person that wants it done. So that's my mental therapy, or I can't think of the word that I'm going to use.
That's okay. That's okay. Let them know where they can find you.
Yes. So I'm on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, but you can go to my Linktree to get all that information. So it's Linktree/Momo's Things, and it's just MOMOS, and then the word things, THINGS. Yes.
All right.
And also you can follow my health journey on Instagram, which is Mo_faith 1720.
All right. So it has been great sitting talking with you about your complete journey. One thing you said about faith, we do have to stay strong in our faith and know that if God put us in it, He's going to see us through it. Amen. So you have to hold on, get that community of your pastor, your prayer warriors, and bring all those people together to help you through through trying times, whether it's
Yes.
your health or anything else that you're going through in life. Get all those people together to back you and give you the support and the prayers that you need. That's going to help pull you through.
Amen.
Yeah, it's going to help pull you through. So yeah, so you're doing great.
Yeah, and then knowing anything that you're not by yourself, you
That's
just have
right.
to find your community.
Yes.
So I know some people don't have family, but there's a community or an extended family for you.
That's right.
And now versus when we were younger, you got Facebook communities.
Yes, you do. Yeah.
So you can actually find people that way. And I did that, and I was able to learn a little bit more than, just what the internet tells you. Since it's a rare disorder, I got other people's stories or how they went through or how they had the hiccups. It's crazy stuff like that.
That has gotten me.
That got you.
Hiccups. Something that's simple. And you think it's simple. Oh, I just got the hiccups, but it won't. It keeps going on and on and on, not knowing that there could be a major underlying problem.
And that's why you need to get yourself checked out.
That is exactly why you need to get yourself checked
Yes.
out. Now everybody be at the doctor lined up. What's wrong? I had the hiccups for 2 minutes. I need to be checked. I need to be checked.
But you know what?
But
It's okay. My grandma used to say, "Let them check you from the rooter to
to
the
the tutor.
tutor."
There you go.
See, so
There you go.
while you're there for the hiccups, let them check you for everything.
That's right. That is right. But it has been great.
Thank you for having me.